U.S. approves first arms sale of Trump's term. The U.S. State Department approves the sale of SM-6 Block I air defense missiles to Japan for a total value of $900 million. The Pentagon's Defense Security Cooperation Agency, DSCA, announced on January 31 that the U.S. State Department has approved a potential contract worth $900 million to provide Japan with up to 150 SM-6 Block I long-range air defense missiles and related equipment. According to data on the DSCA website, this is the first major arms sale approved by the U.S. State Department since President Donald Trump took office on January 20. However, the review process usually takes months and appears to have started under former President Joe Biden. The proposed sale will support the foreign policy and national security objectives of the United States by improving the security of a vital ally that promotes political stability and economic growth in the Indo-Pacific region. The DSCA said in a statement, "The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, JMSDF, will be able to deploy SM-6 missiles on Aegis-equipped warships. This will improve Japan's ability to defend the homeland and its allies' land forces and significantly enhance its contribution to the integrated missile defense network in the Indo-Pacific. The sale will not alter the military balance in the region," the DSCA said. The notification does not mean that a contract has been signed or that the two sides have completed negotiations on the terms of the agreement. The U.S. Congress will have 30 days from the date of notification to decide whether to block the sale. If there is no objection from Congress, the contract will be submitted to President Trump for approval. The JMSDF currently operates 8 Aegis-equipped destroyers, including 4 Kongo-class, 2 Otago class and 2 Maya-class. The JMSDF plans to receive 2 more Aegis destroyers in 2028-2029, bringing the total number of warships capable of ballistic missile defense to 10. The SM-6, also known as the RIM-174 ERM, is an air defense missile that specializes in intercepting aircraft and cruise missiles, and can also be used as an anti-ship weapon. Each SM-6 missile costs nearly $5 million. Raytheon has upgraded the SM-6's software to add the ability to counter threats from medium-range ballistic missiles, while developing the ability to intercept hypersonic weapons. Vice Admiral John Hill, director of the U.S. Missile Defense Agency, MDA, stressed in 2022 that the SM-6 is the only weapon the country has that can intercept hypersonic warheads. The U.S. military is currently operating the Block I and IA versions, while developing the Block IB variant with a modified design and a larger engine to achieve hypersonic speeds. Washington approved the sale of 36 SM-6 missiles to Tokyo in late 2022, making Japan the first country other than the U.S. to be equipped with this type of weapon. According to KCNA, Yonhap, North Korea criticizes the U.S. for increasing arms sales to South Korea. North Korea condemns the U.S. for increasing arms sales to allies, including South Korea, adding that Washington cannot help Seoul escape strategic inferiority. The United States, the world's largest arms dealer, is pushing ahead with plans to supply military equipment to its allies more vigorously than ever. The North state-run Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, said in a commentary published today. The article cited data released by the U.S. State Department, showing that Washington's defense deals with allies in fiscal 2024 totaled $117.9 billion, up 45.7% from the previous year. KCNA said that arms sales contracts between the U.S. and South Korea are increasing continuously and criticized this as an attempt to disrupt the balance of power in the region. No arms aid from the U.S. can help South Korea escape its strategic inferiority. The article said, U.S. and South Korean officials have not commented on the information. The U.S. has announced a series of arms contracts with South Korea in recent years, including deals worth nearly $9 billion to supply 25 F-35A stealth fighters and 36 AH-64E attack helicopters. North Korea has long criticized U.S.-South Korea defense cooperation. Pyongyang calls joint military exercises between Washington and Seoul rehearsals for invading North Korea, and often fires missiles in response. Last week, North Korea vowed to maintain the strongest countermeasures against the U.S. if Washington continues to deny Pyongyang's sovereignty and security interests. Inside the largest deportation campaign in U.S. history, the U.S. has deployed troops to raid immigrants in many cities. In the largest deportation campaign in history, while tightening security at the border, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, Agents arrest people during a raid on illegal immigrants in Chicago, Illinois. Tackling illegal immigration is a top priority for the Trump administration. He has vowed to carry out the largest deportation operation in U.S. history, affecting an estimated 11 million undocumented immigrants in the country. However, even immigrants with legal documents are not immune to arrest. ICE also targets legal immigrants with criminal records. Pictured is a documented immigrant with a criminal record being escorted into a vehicle by ICE agents in Tucson, Arizona. Royal Berg, an immigration attorney, prays with residents as a vehicle carrying immigrants arrested by ICE leaves an agency facility in Broadview, Illinois. After taking office, President Trump reversed the previous administration's guidelines on limiting the arrest of immigrants who have not committed crimes. Trump also ordered federal law enforcement agencies to assist ICE in immigration matters, as well as allowing illegal immigrants to be arrested at sensitive locations such as schools, churches, and hospitals. Protesters hold signs and chant slogans outside the Oklahoma Department of Education to protest ICE's plan to arrest illegal immigrants at schools. Immigrants wait to depart on a deportation flight on a U.S. Air Force C-17 Globemaster III transport plane in Tucson, Arizona. The U.S. military announced late last month that it would assist ICE in organizing flights to deport thousands of illegal immigrants who are being detained. According to a U.S. government official, the U.S. military spends about $28.500 per hour operating a C-17 transport plane. President Trump on January 27 asserted that military deportation flights are helping the United States get respect again. After years of being laughed at like a fool, migrants hold bags with the slogan, "Welcome to your country," outside a repatriation center in Guatemala City, Guatemala, after returning to their home country on a deportation flight from the United States. Each deportation flight to Guatemala and back to the United States on a C-17 transport plane, not including time spent in the airport and logistics services before takeoff, takes about 10.5 hours. Reuters estimated that the United States spent an average of $4.675 for each illegal immigrant deported to Guatemala on recent flights. This figure is 5 times higher than the $853 business class ticket price of American Airlines, applied to a one-way flight from Texas to Guatemala, in parallel with arresting and deporting illegal immigrants back to their home country. The United States is also increasing security in the border area. In this photo, members of the Texas National Guard line up on buses to assist with security along the border with Mexico. U.S. media quoted unnamed officials as saying that the Pentagon is likely to deploy more troops to protect the southern border and the deployment will be carried out quickly in the coming days. The total number of mobilized troops could reach 10,000. Colombian migrants cry on the Paso del Norte border bridge after hearing that their appointment with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, has been cancelled. Despite Washington's tough measures, many migrants have not given up on the goal of crossing into the U.S. In this photo, 2 migrants are trying to illegally enter the U.S. by climbing through a hole in the wall on the U.S.-Mexico border. Footprints in the snow from the forest leading to the land near the Canadian border of Christopher Parent, who lives in Churubusco, New York. Parent said he regularly sees U.S. Border Patrol agents chasing migrants, as well as fresh footprints in the snow from the wooded area of the border. He said this is a sign that migrants are moving north to Canada and then crossing into the U.S. as the border with Mexico tightens.